There we go again. Well, hello there again, friends. This is Robert Ham with RobertHamPhotography.com. Catch me over on Twitter and Instagram at RobHamPhoto. Today we are continuing our conversation with the TL70 by MiNT camera. This is an excellent camera, and today I have brought you to the Northwest River Park, which is in Chesapeake, Virginia. It's a beautiful park, lots of marshland, lots of fun stuff to do, river, fishing, camping, hiking, whatever you would like. It's right here, and it's quite a bit of fun. And I want to give you a real quick preview and some thoughts of roll 7. Of course, roll 7 is my 61 through 70 photos that I've taken with this camera, and I want to share with you some of those. Of course, give you a little idea of the gear that I brought with me today. I have, of course, the Osmo Mobile. If you guys stick around to the end, you'll see a small video that I took with my kiddos while we were out here on the park. I've also got my X Pro 1 with the 35mm f2 on there. Of course, the EFX 20 auto flash, and you'll even see the Mini 90, which is a nice, flat, very small camera to have, the flagship camera in FUJIFILM's lineup for Instax photography. And I had expected to get a chance to use it a little bit today, but it's been so very dark, direct shade inside the canopy, I knew I wasn't going to get any good photos that were properly exposed, just because of my experience in dark shade like that. And the TL70 did a great job. So let's go ahead and put the mic down a little bit so that we can hear. We'll prop it up right here. You heard a little crunchiness, but we'll be okay. We're all friends, right? And let me share with you some fun stuff that the TL70 did. And in fact, just a little heads up, although I brought all this gear, I only took a few pictures with the X Pro 1. I just had an absolute blast making beautiful photos with the TL70. I couldn't get my hands off it, but I thought I might like to take some additional photos, so I brought all this extra gear. And that's where we are. So there's a couple things that I notice immediately with the TL70. It seems like the very first shot of every roll I blow for whatever reason, and I've got a lot of experience under my belt with it now, especially with over 2,000 shots taken with Instax Film. And I don't exactly know why that is. I don't think that it should be that way. Maybe it's inattention, but I tell you what, guys, I will figure that out soon, because if you blow the first shot of every roll, you're blowing 10% of your shots. And in all that, although that'd be a great keeper rate for any wedding photographer, if you only got rid of 10% of your shots, you know, I'm about 1 and 2 to 1 and 3 that I keep. You don't want to blow it when it's $1 a pop. But anyways, let's go ahead and go through this real quick. So there are some really moody shots. Like, look at this reflection right here. That's amazing. I got that reflection. Of course, you can see I'm at f8 there. I think I've got negative exposure compensation. Excuse me, f5.6 with negative exposure compensation. There's some amazing reflections that are taking place right there. This is a really cool shot. I like it a lot. Now, there is something else I noticed. I got another, here's a boat, here's a guy on a kayak, and I thought, hey, I'll snap this picture, and then boom, I just got it. And this was where my use with the TL70 and my use just with manual focus lenses come in. I came in, I knew zone focusing, and I just set the focus to 2 meters to infinity, right? And that was exactly what I needed, because it got this shot beautiful. So I didn't have a lot of time to compose and work on focus because the guy was going past me. But as you can see right there, what a cool shot. Reflection in the water, great detail. Now, there's something else I'd like to let you know. This is an environment that a big lens, like on the TL70, works well with this environment, because when I was metering for the subjects just to see where I was going to be, it was showing me that there was about 7 to 8 EV worth of tonal range. And we know that the Instax Film has about 10 EV worth of tonal range. So when we're working in here, we know that we're going to be able to get a subject that will have everything nicely exposed across the board, because we're not maxing out the tonality of the actual, or the exposure range of the actual film. And of course, the Instax with this lens right here, the big bright lens that MiNT has developed, is more than capable of giving us 9 to 10 values worth of dynamic range, which is really cool. Check out this picture right here. How cool is that? This is Robert. He jumped up on a log. We were on a paddle boat, and then there he goes. And the water's about, I guess, waist height, but it all stinks real bad because it's a swamp. But it doesn't stink just to be on top of it. It would stink real bad if you were actually in it. Another one is my Mr. Pookie right here. How cool is that little guy? And when we look at these two, I mean, f8 with negative exposure compensation, and what you'll notice is that I'm bouncing between f8 and f5.6, and the exposures are coming great with that one stop of negative exposure compensation. And that's the thing you got to remember. The reason I'm bouncing around is because I'm opening up to f5.6 when I'm in really dark area, and I'm using my shadow guide. So if you've got dark defined shadows, with hard edges, you know that you are in you're in direct shade, and so you're going to need to be at f5.6, f8, at a minimum f8, but mostly f5.6. Now here's the reason that I'm going ahead and actually using that negative exposure compensation. Look at this f8 photo. Excuse me, guys. When we look at these two f8 photos, just to kind of give you that, when we're looking at them right here, you'll notice they're both overexposed. Too bad, because I blew that shot with my little buddy boy, and it seems to me like, once again, the camera weights so heavily to the shadows that in these environments where we're at direct shade, we really needed that one stop less. So I'm finding that a lot of my photography, no matter where it is, I'm going to be using the negative exposure compensation in order to get a good shot at the aperture that I'm using. Those there are some pro tips for you. And then here's a cool bridge. One thing that I will say is on this particular image of the guy with the kayak coming back, well, we actually don't, we've got negative compensation, we're at f8, but at the same time, it was a little bit, it was like 1/4 of a second, it sounded like to me, which means there is a little bit of motion blur in there, because my boat that I was on was twisting like this, and of course he was coming towards me. But still a great image. I would like for that to have come out better, and it could have been much more helpful if I had just asked him to stop, and if I had stopped turning, I could maybe we could have counteracted that. But there you've seen the images. You can wait to have a much more in-depth review on the Roll 7 results. This was just a preview. Don't forget to stick around. We got a nice little video coming of my boys and I at the park having a good time. I want to thank you for watching. I want to remind you to catch me over on Twitter and Instagram, because if you're watching here, you've only got half the story. You can find me over there at RobHamPhoto, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Look at Robert through the trees. This is lots of fun, I can tell you what right now, lots of fun. They're having such a hard time steering.